Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Today's phrase is at the helm. At the helm. And as you know, Britain was in the past very famous for its shipping. And if you're at the helm, it means you're at the steering wheel. The gear on the ship is called the helm. It's the place where you operate the ship from. So at the helm simply means in control. Let me explain how we use it. So a few days ago, I was on a bus, as you know, going to another city, and the driver, he was very nice, but he was a little bit scruffy, you know. His beard was covered in tobacco stains, and he wasn't really dressed very well. He was at the helm of the bus. And I said to my friend, I said, I don't really feel very comfortable with who's at the helm. So in this case, it means who's driving the bus, the person at the helm. And it's very common to use this. I mean, right now, with this post office scandal that I've been telling you about, people are demanding to know who was at the helm of the post office during the 1990s and the early 2000s at the helm. You can use it in a positive or negative way. For example, I won't be here tomorrow, so my friend John will be at the helm. Some people might say taking the helm, so it just means taking my place or will be here instead of me. With aeroplanes, you might hear the captain saying, "Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Captain Constantine at the helm today." And that just means, of course, that he's in control of the plane. I've never actually been on a cruise, but I'm quite sure they might use it if they have some kind of tannoy system on the boat. Tannoy system just means speaker system at the helm. So yeah, I was on this bus the other day, and when I get on buses anyway, I always just have a look to see who's at the helm, just in case there's an accident or if anybody asks me, because sometimes, you just don't feel comfortable. Whenever there's a disaster here in the UK, the first thing the police do is to investigate who is at the helm, who was driving. And you might hear that in our media, or there was a plane crash today, police are trying to establish who is at the helm. Let me give you some more examples. So, after a decade of growth, the CEO is still at the helm of the same company. The newly elected president is now at the helm, ready to steer the country towards progress. With the new coach at the helm, the football team is expected to have a successful season. With their parents at the helm, the family navigated through difficult times with strength and unity. At the helm of the art exhibit, the curator brought together an impressive collection of work. The orchestra flourished with the new conductor at the helm. So, yeah, when things go wrong, the man at the helm is usually the one to take the fall, the one to be blamed at the helm. Very common, that, very common. So yeah, I was on this bus and it was freezing. But all of our buses now are electric. And they very proudly say on the side, "Congratulations, you're now entering an electric bus." But what they don't tell you is that to keep the battery running, they don't put on the heating. So these buses are always cold. They can't turn up the heating the way you can in a diesel bus because you'll run out of fuel much quicker. So it was freezing, absolutely freezing. And if you follow my Scottish Gaelic YouTube lessons, you will see that I was saying it in Gaelic as well. Freezing on the bus, really, really cold. Yeah, freezing. So yeah, I was very disappointed. I was sitting there with my hat, coat, scarf, and gloves, thinking about who's at the helm and why he doesn't just turn on the heating. But of course, he couldn't because his battery would drain very quickly. It was snowing, and indeed, it's snowing right now. So I'd like to just take a moment to describe for you what I'm seeing. And yeah, the snow is falling. It's covered the pavement already. It only started about 5 minutes ago. Already the pavement's looking covered. It's falling onto the grass. So there's a mixture of green, white, and grey as it mingles with the road and the garden. People are rushing by, and in contrast to the old days when people would be wearing hats, scarves, and gloves, today people are just wearing sports clothes and looking very cold, which is rather sad. I mean, there's no excuse for people really not looking after themselves. The only thing bright in the road outside is one of these yellow neon signs, which is there to instruct traffic to keep to the left, because of course we drive on the left-hand side of the road. And it looks like that's been hit. So it looks a little bit like a wounded soldier there, standing slightly to one side. As I've mentioned to you before, just beyond my garden, there's a number of uh, cable cabinets which are owned by the phone companies. And inside those, there's all of the internet wires and things which help our internet to run. But they've recently announced that these cable cabinets, or phone boxes as they're sometimes known, they will be getting used to carry chargers for electrical cars. So rather than take them away, they're simply going to put car chargers in there so anyone with an electrical car can charge up their car. It's a really good idea, that, I think, a really good idea. But I don't think many people here have electric cars because they don't get you very far. I think you really need to have lots of chargers around. That's what I've heard anyway. I don't know if that's actually true. So I'm making this at 9:30 in the morning, and I can still see that the cars have their headlights on. So that gives you an idea just as to how dark it is outside. It looks very silvery. It's like the scene out of some kind of movie, you know. What else can I tell you? Yeah, the road is very quickly being covered, but the road outside my apartments is very busy, so the snow probably won't get the chance to lie there. Um, oh, I see Mrs. Smith has her lights on. She must be up early. Oh, and she's curtain twitching as well. I hate that. Curtain twitching is when somebody is being very nosy and looking out of their window every 2 minutes to see who's going by and what else is happening. Yeah, I think that child that my cat hates has already passed by. I heard him at the window. My cat has an enemy. It's a little child who goes by with his parent. I think it's a little boy. I'm not sure. It's a boy or a girl anyway. Uh, these days it could be anything. Anyway, the parent goes by with the child in the stroller. That's the little buggy with the wheels, and the child stares in the window at my cats, and my cat stares out at the child, and they both hate each other. And my cat is hissing at him or her, and the baby looks back, with squinted eyes to show that he doesn't like my cat either. It's a bit strange. Oh, there's two nurses just past my window. Of course, they're grossly overweight, wearing nurses' uniforms. Strangely, not wearing coats. They're just wearing those blue shirts that nurses wear, which is a bit odd, but I'm guessing they've just stepped out of a car. I mean, they won't have walked very far, I suppose. The snow is getting heavier. Cars appear to be getting faster. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I can describe for you today. So, this podcast, At the Helm today, was Teacher Joseph. If you have any comments or feedback about it, please pass them over to me. Also, at the helm was our phrase of the day, and it just means who's in charge. For example, with their parents at the helm, the family won't have any problems growing up. So it's about who's in control, who's at the helm. Right, well, I better go, and I want to make some soup for dinner tonight. That would be nice, a nice cold day. If I make some soup and some bread, and yeah, did I tell you I've started to meditate? Yeah, I found a very easy way to meditate on YouTube. So I'm supposed to do that for 20 minutes a day, but finding the time to do it, it's just crazy. I really have to force myself to stop and meditate. So yeah, yeah, that's another thing I'm doing. And that's it from me for today. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Let's catch up and talk again soon. And I wish you all a wonderful day. And as always, stay warm if it's very cold where you are. Bye.